Hello twin flames, thank you for being here, for liking, subscribing and all the amazing comments and feedback you leave me. It means the world, as you know, and if you are new to the channel, welcome, subscribe, join our family because we're here for you every day. Replace doubt with faith. That's the message coming through today. Replace doubt with faith. So many twin flames between now and 2024 all over the globe are coming into union. And you must believe that that's also possible for you. If you fully know in your heart and soul and every fibre of your being that this person is your one, then that's what you must believe in to move toward your union. Because when we focus on love and we have faith and we believe in this journey, we surrender to it. And we trust in the timing of it and the way it's working and the way the process is taking place. And then we start loving life and living life and giving back to ourselves. And then we stop craving from our twin what we always have access to give to ourselves, which is love and power and strength and energy. And I just want to read a testimony today because, you know, we've got twins coming into union and you need to hear this. So whether you've seen this, I pinned this on one of the readings the other day. Okay, this is from our soul sister Jacqueline. This is a real divine feminine on this channel, one of our soul family who's come into union. And she's shared a testimony to buoy the faith of you. You know, so you replace that doubt in you or anything you're struggling with faith. Or if you see any other divine feminine struggling, you can remind them to have faith. It says, my DM and I are in union. So first of all, Jacqueline, congratulations. I'm so happy for the both of you. Take it day by day, step by step, moment by moment, and just breathe and you'll get through anything together. Liz, I cannot thank you enough for your videos. They kept me sane during the separation. Everything you and George say is exactly how the journey unfolds. And if anyone's wondering who George is, he is my divine masculine and he has his own channel, Blue Eyes Tarot. And sometimes I share his readings. I shared one of his readings, you know, the other day because it was super powerful. Everything you and George say is exactly how the journey unfolds. 2 weeks ago, I surrendered. Then the signs started to roll in. Now, she surrendered. That means she stopped worrying about it all, stressing over it, trying to force things to happen or wondering when it's going to happen. Just let go. Start loving life, giving back to yourself, looking for things to be grateful for, focusing on joy. And then the signs flow in. And that's absolutely what happens because the angels show you that what you're doing is right and you're on the right path and all is well. I started seeing the bees. The bees are a symbol of miracles, communication and power. Rainbows. Rainbows are all about protection. Angel numbers. So we're going to be talking more about angel numbers tomorrow because the angels have been giving me lots of numbers to talk about. So that's what tomorrow's daily twin flame reading is going to be about, the numbers that you're constantly seeing right now. Angel numbers, songs. He had dropped off a letter. I didn't see it for 2 days. And then I had a feeling to check the letterbox. I read his beautiful letter and a ladybug appeared. And ladybirds are about luck. Luck being on your side. Now, you know, you may have thought, I can't believe I've only just opened that letter because there was some delay there, but everything happens in divine timing. And you know, this is super powerful because I've just finished watching the series on Netflix, Anne with an E. And in Anne with an E, I don't know if any of you are watching that show, it's based on Anne of Green Gables. In that, you know, Anne writes a letter to Gilbert and leaves it on the table in his house because he isn't there. And she puts it, typical Anne, you know, typical divine feminine behaviour, puts it underneath a jug where it can't really be seen. And it gets moved about, it gets, you know, everything happens to this letter. And it gets discarded, so he never reads the letter. And then he decides to write her a letter, and she sees the letter, but in a fit of rage, she kind of sheds the letter, she rips it up. So she doesn't know what's in the letter. But the universe creates the way because even though they've both admitted the feelings in these letters that never came to each other, the universe created the way. And divine intervention happened where Diana spoke the truth. So Gilbert realised that Anne did love him after all. And he went and shared his love with her. Very beautiful. And that Jacqueline, that just really reminded me of that when I read this message. It says, he had dropped off a letter, I didn't see it for 2 days, and then I had a feeling to check the letterbox. Something guided you to. And then the ladybug appeared to say, yay. It's like the universe saying, you're on the right track, everything's working out beautifully. We've talked about our healing during our time apart, and it's crazy how mirrored it was. And that's so true. Facing the shadow aspects of self, jealousy, anger, not feeling good enough, it all needs to heal. Understand and forgive the karmic partners. Forgive yourself, forgive your twin, and have compassion. Beautiful. And someone asked me, I'm going to continue that message in a second, but someone asked me about jealousy. How do we heal jealousy? And it's learning that jealousy comes from within. Okay, jealousy is never about the other person or the karmic partner. It's about a relationship with ourselves. If we're jealous, whether it's of the karmic partner or someone else or someone we're looking at that we want something they have, we feel like something's missing in our own life or in our own self. So jealousy, and this is a big one for me. So, I'm kind of able to talk about it because it was one that I overcame and healed. Jealousy is something being wrong with you, wrong with me, wrong within. So I'm not saying there's something wrong with you. Okay, this is about understanding that if you're jealous, if that's one of your main triggers, you have to heal something deep within yourself. And it was hard for me to understand that because I thought I was healed and I thought I was ready, but I was so jealous of everything, and I'm going back to pre-George because when me and George kind of got ready for union, I'd healed most of that through Catalyst, and that was my journey. It's different for everyone. It was part of my journey to get into union to help you with your journey to union. So my experience was all with Catalyst, which was still painful over a big period of time. And I realised throughout my healing with the Catalyst I was experiencing jealousy with, it wasn't just love. They give me fear because we have to release the fear around it, the misconception of it. It was everything. It stemmed back to childhood, because as a child, my mum and dad were busy. My dad was always working away, got a business. My mum was drinking, so her best friend was the bottle. So I just kind of was left to my own devices to do my own thing. And now that's good because I've learned through that how to be strong and independent and powerful and how to love my own company and love being with me. But I also got deep core wounds from that, abandonment issues, not feeling good enough, feeling like I always had to compete with others for the best of everything. And I also had a sister who was very older. Say I have a sister, but we're not really, we don't really have a relationship. But she's a lot older than me. So obviously she was always the one who was older. So I always thought, I want to be like her and have the things that she has. And I was always jealous of her and I had to release that too. And that was also a big learning curve. With friends, everyone had to be it had to be my best friend. If I got a relationship with a girl as a friendship, that's my best friend. It couldn't just be a friend. I had to, because I felt like something was missing. And it was me. And the journey on the twin flame journey, it taught me that because I realised that through being involved with a married catalyst who, had got a wife and couldn't give to me everything I wanted and couldn't be there when I needed them to be, couldn't spend birthdays, Christmases with me, all these things, I realised that the issue isn't with anything outside of myself, not, him or his wife or anyone else. It was me. And I healed a lot through that married catalyst, but then I went on to deal with another catalyst who I was still jealous people he was talking to. He wasn't even having romantic relationships with these people, but I was jealous of the people he was spending time with. People who was, if he was liking someone's picture on social media, or he was talking to them in chat, or he was doing something, I was jealous of that because I didn't feel good enough. I felt like I needed to compete and compare and bring in comparison. And there was no need, because I'm a child of God just like you, and we are enough, and we are special and perfect just as we are. So when we are jealous of another or a situation, even a situation, you may see a couple spending time together at Christmas. You think, I want that. Why can't I have that? When you see it, the universe is giving you a preview of what's available to you. But sometimes we see it from a place of ego, not love. So if we see it through ego, we get jealous of that situation, thinking, I want that. Why aren't I good enough for that? Why? Aren't I deserving of that? Surely I am. And we go through all these feelings. And then we realise when we start waking up properly to this, because obviously even though we're awake, we go through stages of awakening where we have aha moments and understandings on the journey. We think, wow, there's no need for me to be jealous, because that's a preview of what's to come for me. That's showing me what I can have if I believe, if I have faith, if I trust, if I know who I am. And then we start to heal, because we realise we are good enough, we are valuable, we are deserving. So really the way we heal jealousy is realising there's nothing to be jealous of, because we can't miss out on what's meant for us. And when we heal those wounds, nothing is missing. We can never be fulfilled if we look at others to fulfill us. So, if you're thinking, well, I have to be in union to be happy, I have to be receiving messages and communication from my masculine to be happy, then you'll never feel satisfied, because it will never be enough. And that's what happened for me. One message wasn't enough. I wanted more. I wanted more time. I wanted this and that. And when I realised I was trying to get fulfillment and, in a way, validation from the outside world, another person or a situation, I realised, wow, it's me that has that power. Happiness comes from within. Feeling whole comes from within. Understanding that you are one always with your twin flame, and they always live within you. And you can give yourself everything you ever need. So when you realise that, and that's what we have to go through, the hard lessons in childhood, through situations, all these things, to realise that. And then when we start giving back to ourselves, we feel free, we feel strong, we feel ready. And I know that from having that experience as well as a child, it made me understand myself more and love my own company more and give to myself. So I got to a stage before union where I was just giving everything back to me. And I'd done that anyway. I took myself out on dates and I'd done certain things and gone places, but I wasn't really feeling completely satisfied until I let go. And the way you let go is gratitude, healing, self-love. I am valuable, using affirmations. I am valuable, I am worthy, I am deserving. Everything is working out beautifully for me. I'm rich in all things, and looking for the good in everything and forgiving. Even when I was involved with that married catalyst, I was jealous of his kids. That's not nice. That's a lower vibrational energy, which is what jealousy is. I was jealous of his children because he was spending more time with them. How, selfish is that? So jealousy is a very selfish thing. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. And I talk about them not in a religious way, but in a way that those things like envy and greed and, pride and all the things, it makes us gnarly. And that means that even if we are the most beautiful person in the world, we look gnarly when we're in that energy because it doesn't serve us, which means we look tired, we look drained, we look, it's like an ugly energy. And that shows inside and outside. Yet when we are in surrender and focusing on love and giving and being of service and tapping in with the true energy of the divine feminine within us, who we truly are, the Empress energy, all of that lifts. So it's like you have a spiritual kind of facelift in a way, in your vibration shift. So you look younger, you feel better, you feel healthier, you feel vibrant and radiant. And that's how you look too. People start looking at you and seeing you glowing. You're glowing because you've grown on this journey. And you realise that you are safe and all is well and there's nothing to fear. So then you move into the fruit of the Spirit, which is patience, calm, unconditional love, empathy, understanding, kindness, joy, bliss, all these things. And obviously not exactly the fruit of the Spirit, but it's the energy of it, So your energy uplifts. So you move from a lower vibration into a higher vibration. And you start seeing things in a different way and saying, wow, I know now why I had to go through those things to be here now. So you go through a big shift and change, and that's what happens on the journey, and that's what happens on this channel. That's what so many of you tell me, because, you come to the channel feeling broken, bruised, in pain, struggle, not really getting the journey, struggling with the understanding of it, and then tapping in with the angels every day or, whenever you're connecting. It's boosting your vibration. So it's allowing you to become the observer, so you see the journey through the eyes of love, not fear. So you start blessing everything. And what I did was, when I was dealing with the married catalyst, I actually did a meditation where I visualized being in a room, and it was like a big theatre, because we're being reminded as well that everything we go through before union is kind of preparing us for union. We know that separation is preparation, but other people are also catalysts to our union. So really everything is a dress rehearsal for our union. I feel that that's why the angels gave me in the meditation the theatre, because that's where all the drama is. That's we are the star of our own show, so we have to take control. And I visualized, one by one, them coming onto the stage and me going up and forgiving them and healing it all. So I forgave first of all him, the married catalyst. Then I forgave his wife, she came on, then his children, and anything else that was connected with it that I needed to release and forgive. And I felt healed. It was like a big weight had gone off my shoulders. And when I was dealing with all this, by the way, too, I was having severe acid reflux, and I was having indigestion and heartburn. I was struggling to sleep. I couldn't breathe. And at the time, I was going to see Kyle Gray. And I've spoke about this before. Kyle Gray is an angel therapist. He's an angel guy. He's out there and he's kind of the celebrity version of the angel guy. And, I went to see him. So I used to go to seminars and went, pre-COVID, all these things, pre-union. And the first time I saw Kyle Gray, and this was a long time ago, I released myself from that connection in 2016. And so this is before that. This could have even been 2015. I can't remember exactly when it was. It's quite a while ago. It's like 7 years ago. And I was waiting to see Kyle Gray, at the end where he does all the signings. You can queue and get it, like have a picture with him, or, you can get him to sign something. And I was in the queue, and I didn't go with anyone because I never used to go to those events with anyone else. I used to just make friends when I was there. And I was talking in the queue to a woman, and at the time I was really heavily connecting with Archangel Metatron, which I do anyway. And I could hear Kyle talking to people, and he was saying this particular archangel is around you and this and that. And I thought, wow, he's going to tell me Archangel Metatron is with me and it's going to boost me up. And he didn't. I got to the table. He was sitting down like I'm sitting with you, and he went, and he stood up and he said, oh, all this pain, you need to release this. And he explained, he said, it feels like someone's stabbing me in the chest. It was heart pain. And it's because of, all the resentments and all the jealousy and all the anger and all the frustration and all the things I took into my physical self through what I was going through with the married catalyst. And he said, you have to release that before it releases something bad into your body, which means cancer or disease, That's where it stems from. So he said, you need to scream, Liz. You need to go somewhere and scream until you can't scream anymore. And that's how my connection with scream therapy was born, because it really works. And I came out of that seminar, and we were in London, and I found a little park, and I had tried to scream, but obviously there was people around, it didn't feel right. So I thought, I'm going to do this as soon as I can. So I went back home, and I went to a place called Park Hall Hills, where it's like a big kind of hilly valley type thing, and it's like a country park. And I got right on top of this hill, and I screamed, and I'm not kidding you, it came out like this. It wouldn't even come out. Why? Because it was all stuck energy in the throat chakra, in the esophagus, connected with the solar plexus. It needed to come from deep within. And this is what happens when the masculines are kind of all bottling everything up, and they give me fear. it needs to come up. It needs to be released. That's why they always give me fear as burpee energy, because it's coming from deep, deep within them, things they've been repressing and holding in. So, it has to come out. So when we scream, we release it. So it took me a good 3 or 4 days of going back up there and releasing it. And eventually that turned into it came out proper like a Paris Hilton proper scream. Like when she did that film, whatever it is, that horror film she did. So House of Wax or whatever it is. So we have to release it. And I'm so grateful to Kyle Gray. Thank you, Kyle, for introducing me to scream therapy. And as soon as I released that out of me, I started sleeping better. I started feeling better. And it wasn't long after that I actually moved out of that connection, because I chose to do that. I knew it wasn't making me happy. I knew I'd learned from the experience everything I needed to learn, and I was ready to move on to the next chapter. And you'll feel that too when you've dealt with catalysts, or even with your own twin. If you feel like, right now I'm ready to move on to the next chapter, it doesn't mean you're going to move on. It means you're ready to surrender the journey. You're ready to let go of the pain and the struggle and the doubt. You're ready to feel free. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to say, I've got this because heaven has got me, and I know it's going to be okay, and it's all going to work out beautifully. I'll let this go. You can even say to the universe, my twin flame or something better, please. Sometimes that means the universe gives us something better. That could be a new job or a project or something to focus on while your twin is doing their healing work and in that chrysalis stage and metamorphosing, ready for your union. So it all works out beautifully. And it wasn't long after that I was feeling so good. I even got baptized in 2016. That was something I did for me, so that I released what I perceived as all that sin, of dealing with a married connection. So I released it all and I felt free. And I felt the best I did in years. I felt youthful, vibrant, ready, excited about life. Life was good again. There was no struggle again. Everything was wonderful. And it was magical like that for about 3 months. And then I met the catalyst before George that really woke me up. And then everything changed. When he put me through, well, he didn't put me through. I put myself through. This is the thing we say, he put me through that, and we blame them. Or we blame the situation on the universe. It's nothing like that. It's all about ourselves. This is how I was at the time. Why did he have to come into my life and turn it upside down? Everything was so wonderful. I was loving life. I just got over him and now I've got him. What's going on? But the universe knew there was something even more magical in store, and this new catalyst had to prepare me for George. So we go through these things and we learn that it's our perception. Everything that's happening is neutral. And it really is. It's our view of it that makes it good or bad, light or dark, negative or positive. And we have to see through the situation. So he prepared me for George in an age gap connection, because, there was an age gap between me and him. And there's an age gap between me and George. And so many of us as twin flames are in age gap connections. So he was, the younger one, I was the older one. And I had to deal with what that meant. And I got ready for George through that. But again, still healing jealousy and, struggle over him talking to other people when he was already giving me lots of attention. But it wasn't enough. I was healing greed. Because no matter what he gave to me, I wanted more, more, more. And that's a greedy energy. That's a 7 deadly sin. And we heal greed through knowing that we always have enough, that nothing is missing, that we have plenty, that we are supported, that we can also give to ourselves everything that we have. So everything gets you union ready. So the way really we handle this situation is by observing it from a higher perspective and saying, okay, what's triggering me right now? Are you being triggered by social media? Are you being triggered by the karmic partner? Are you being triggered because you're not yet in union? Or are you being triggered by the timing of it all? If you're getting triggered by something, maybe you're being triggered by me. Whenever the trigger is, it's an opportunity to heal. So what triggers you is healing you. So you can look at the trigger and say, okay, what is this teaching me about me? What do I need to heal? What do I need to release? What do I need to understand? And that's the first step. And we also, when we understand that, when we can say that to ourselves and sit down with our thoughts and feelings and our triggers and our emotions, It's like something is released and a big weight goes off and things seem easier. It's like all the fog and all the confusion, all that kind of dense energy is lifted. And we can see the way out. We see a way forward and we're like, wow, this journey isn't a struggle after all. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's waking me up to who I am. And in the Divine Feminine reading today, I talk about something amazing that happened to me over the weekend, where I called on Archangel Chamuel and he brought back to me a ring that I thought I'd lost at the O2 Arena. If you want to know about that, go and watch that video and you'll see. But everything makes sense. See, everything makes sense. So then Jacqueline goes on to say, he was sending me energetic hugs and love every day and I wasn't imagining. So even when they're in separation, she was feeling all of that, just like you're feeling it from your twin. And she wasn't imagining it. He validated it. He told it. I was sending you that love. It was me. He is my home. And I love that because the other night we did a quick Q&A and it said, what do you need to know for union? He said, home is where the heart is. I'm coming home. And my home is with you. However, I also have a deep sense of love for self. I became my own best friend, and that's absolutely what you have to do. I took myself out on solo dates. I did all the things you suggested, and it really does work, and it does. Giving back to self. Because when we give back to ourselves, nothing's missing. So we can't get triggered because what we were craving from them, we're now giving to ourselves. Whenever George needs some space, and the masculines need space even in union, I don't mean from me, I mean to process and go through things in his head and understand. So if he says, I need a night by myself, or I need a night with the boys, on his game or whatever, I welcome it. Because I'm like, well, that's a sign I need that too. Because you are mirrors. So if he needs something, you need it. If you need space, he'll need it. If you need love, he will need it. So remember these things. You are mirrors of each other. And you realise that more and more in union. And these are the times when you're having that space to embrace it. Separation is preparation. Having time for yourself is good. It's healing. It restores your connection with Source. It helps you to heal and replenish your energy and feel at peace. So I took myself out on solo dates, did all the things you suggest, and it really does work. Focus on the self, surrender, and trust in divine timing of the universe, because your twin will come back to you a more healed version, and the love will be even greater than you could ever imagine. And that's so true. Without the catalyst that George went through, he wouldn't be the loving person he is to me. Remember, you get the healed version of your twin. The karmic partner right now has got the kind of distorted version. The version who's struggling and feeling pained and, not able to accept love really at all. Because we have to love ourselves fully before we're ready for union. It's really powerful. And, she goes on to say, keep the faith, beautiful souls. I can't wait to see more unions coming to fruition for you all. So she's saying, I want to celebrate our unions together. So beautiful. And then I've got another question. This was a comment on the channel. I just really want to address this too. I asked him today if I made him happy. And he said, no one anywhere makes me happy. I said, so it was all for nothing. And he said, I will never be happy. So yes, all for nothing. Now, try and see that from a higher perspective. Okay. This divine feminine is saying, I asked my divine masculine if I make him happy. And he said, no one anywhere makes me happy. That means he's got a problem with himself. That's nothing you're doing wrong, so why take that personally? My reply is, don't you see the only person who can make him happy is himself? Once he chooses happiness through his own journey, he will find his way. No personal situation makes us happy, as only we hold that power, do you see? So we have to look at it differently. We have the power to be happy now in this moment. So if your masculine is saying, oh, nothing's making me happy, it's because he doesn't feel happy. He's not happy with himself, and he needs to work on his connection with his own self and his guides and angels before he can love you right, before he can be what you truly want him to be. So the message is, don't look outside for validation. If you say to your masculine, do I make you happy? And he says no, it's nothing. It's not a reflection of you. It doesn't mean you're not doing the right things. It means he's not ready to accept your love. It means he's struggling with his own self. He's struggling with his own fears, his own insecurities. So while he's struggling with all of that, you do you and let him do himself, and then you don't get triggered by it. And you think, okay, well, I'll make myself happy and that will rub off on him anyway. It's like if you're in a mood, and this really resonates with me because I've been there in the past, if we're in a mood, nothing can get us out of that mood until we choose to move out of that mood or that energy. So in other words, someone can be giving you the world, but if you're not wanting to see it that way, they might as well be giving you a brick of coal. They can offer you a diamond, but you'll see it as coal because you don't want to be uplifted at that moment. You want to wallow, or, you're not ready to listen or understand. And that's what the masculines go through. When they are ready, they'll wake up. Okay? When they are ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And you've appeared because he's ready. But he has to do it in his own time. Don't get triggered by that, because imagine if, someone was trying to force your awakening. And your awakening may have happened over a number of years, but you may have not realised it. That's what happened with me. I started waking up really in my early 20s. And it was a gradual transition between 20 and 30. And nobody could have made me stop drinking alcohol or, abusing my own body or whatever I was doing until I was ready to face that. I chose to give up alcohol. I chose to, embrace my path. I chose this way or that way. And that's what we do. We realise we always have a choice. And the masculines have a choice. So if you're looking outside of yourself for happiness, thinking you need to be in communication to be happy, or you need to be in union to be happy, you'll always be seeking something that isn't quite there, because it comes from within. When you start waking up every day thinking today is a new day, whatever happens, whatever comes my way, I can handle it because I'm wearing the armour of God and I'm strong. I'm going to face this day with grace and elegance and understanding and love and power. And the angels are going to help me to do that, so I can handle whatever comes my way. And I'm going to see this day with gratitude and joy and bliss in the eyes of love. So I notice the blessings and the signs and the wonder and the magic and the joy. And I return to innocence. And that's what you do. You remember your innocence as a child when everything's wonderful. And we see everything as a joy. We see the world as an oyster that we can harness and handle. Like, we believe in magic when we were kids. We believe that all things are possible. That's why if we're not given something, we say, but why? But why? Because we expect it, because we are born into this world as a creator. So we expect things to be there like that. And also knowing that we learn in trust in divine timing, because where we are right now in this society, we are in a society of things being at our fingertips. In other words, maybe we post a picture on social media and we get instant likes. So we get instant gratification. Or we send a text message, we know it goes to that person's phone instantly. So then we get stressed out if we don't receive something back instantly. If we don't receive a like on the picture, or we don't receive a message instantly, we can start worrying about it, taking it personally, thinking the picture looks wrong, or my hair isn't right, or I've done it from the wrong angle, or why doesn't he care? Why doesn't he want to reply to me? What have I done? And we're seeing it totally wrong. Realise that other people have their own stuff they're dealing with. They may just be busy, maybe at work, maybe his phone's in another room on charge, or maybe he just hasn't noticed the message, or maybe he doesn't want to like your picture on social media in case other people notice and he starts panicking about that. So remember, there's always something else going on. Remember, it's never about you, it's always about the other person. And that helps you to see things differently. It's a lot like me wearing wigs. I'll give you an example because, I may be aware that I've got a wig on, but nobody else is, because everyone else is. You may be now because you're watching this video and I'm talking about it. But, when I go out in this later, I'm not going to be thinking everyone's looking, because I know it's natural anyway, but I'm not going to be thinking people looking at me thinking, is this Liz wearing a wig? Because number one, they don't know who I am. And number two, they're that busy thinking of their own self. We're very, in a way, selfish beings, and we learn to become selfless. But because we are always thinking about how things are affecting us from our perspective. So that's why we learn on this journey to see how things affect our masculine from their perspective. So think about it, wow, from their perspective, and then we become more compassionate, more understanding, and more loving, and that works for the connection. Very powerful. So that's something else. And then there was another one. I hope this is helping today because I'm bringing these up as well. Got another one that says, rejected, it's okay now. I can move on with life on the portal to boot. It's okay. I can go on my journey alone. And what this person is doing is seeing it from, like a perspective of pain. He's rejected me. Okay, now I can go on my own. But really, rejection is redirection. It's saying something isn't right at this moment. There's something more to learn. There's something more to do. So any form of rejection is knowing that it's not the right time. It's the time for something else or something new or something better. So it's time to focus on the self whenever we get rejected. When I think back about many things, even getting into this house, the first house we went to look at, we were rejected. It didn't go through. It was like taking ages. We wanted that house, didn't go through. The angels knew that house wasn't meant for us. There was bits about it I didn't like either, but I was kind of wanting to move quickly. Whereas this house was the perfect house. And then we didn't get that house. Then we went to look at another house and we put in for it. But the couple that went before us got it first. And I was feeling a bit annoyed about it. But I know now, when I look back then, that house just wouldn't have been right. It was in the wrong place. It wasn't big enough. It wasn't right. This is perfect. And the universe knew. And when this house came up, we came in, we looked at the house, we applied for it, and there was no hiccups, there was no issues. It went through like that because it was the right time. And the universe knew that. But I was trying to force things and feeling bad about things when a rejection was a redirection. And it's the same with, when I really wanted to be with this married catalyst and I wanted him to leave his wife and I thought it was going to be the end of the world if he didn't. That rejection was redirection towards my true path and my true twin. And I'm not saying anyone here is dealing with catalysts. Maybe you have in the past. But what I'm saying to you is your journey is protected and it's safe when you let go and you trust the universe and you trust in the power of heaven to have your back and move you exactly where you're meant to be. And the angels want you to know that. And that's what I talk about with this ring. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this again. I spoke about this in Divine Feminine reading today. This is a ring that George got me. And he bought me this for our first year in union anniversary. It's gorgeous. It's got like a Celtic cross band and it's got like a stone. It's very beautiful. And he gave me this for my first year in union. So it's special to me. And, it's just a ring. Okay, it's just a ring. It's me feeling it's special that makes it special. So he could give me any ring and it would feel that way. But obviously it's sentimental because of that. So, but again, it's a material thing. If I lose it, then it's just a thing. Okay, the feeling is within, remember. It's the way I view it that makes it a good or bad thing if I lose this ring. And what happened was, when I went to the O2 Arena at the weekend with Sandra and Marianne, our soul sister and George, we went to see a show. And just before it started, I realised I'd dropped my ring and I thought I'd dropped it in the toilet. And the O2 is huge. It fits 20,000 people. So I was panicking, obviously, because I was letting the ego get the better of me. And I called on Archangel Chamuel, the finding angel, the angel who helps you to find what you're seeking. And I said, thank you, Archangel Chamuel, for helping my ring come back to me by the end of half time. In other words, when the break is, because I thought, okay, calling on the angels, I'll go to the loo at half time and find the ring on the floor. It will have been handed in or something like that. So I gave it to heaven. But I was panicking. So just before the show started, I ran to the toilet. It wasn't there. Came back, sitting there, ruined the first 10 minutes of the show for me because I was thinking about this ring. And then I let go. And I thought, it's just a material thing. It's not the end of the world. There's another ring. It could be a sign. Another ring is coming. It's a sign of what's to come. The universe giving me a preview. Something's been replaced with something better. And I give it to God. I gave it to the angels. And then at half time, we were just all laughing and talking in the chairs and we were taking silly videos on Snapchat with filters on and just having fun. And just before the show restarted, the guy behind me tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Is this your ring?" And he'd found it on the floor under my seat. How he got there, I don't know, because I No, I lost it in the toilet, but the universe brought it back. The angels, Archangel Samuel brought it back, and even talking about it gives me angel bumps. So what's meant for you, and they give me fear, when you release the fear, or you release the ego around it all, when you trust in heaven, when you surrender and let go and think, well, what will be, will be. If I've lost it, I've lost it. If it comes back, it comes back. The universe knows what's best for me. It was returned just like that. And it brought faith in, not just for me, but for Marianne and Sandra, and even George was like, wow. So it was meant to be. So have trust in your journey and have faith and realise who you are. So I'm also going to do quickly a card, because every day I'm shuffling. I'm going to use the Twin Flames Wisdom Oracle. So what do we need to know today? I'm just going to do one card. What do we need to know? And the message is strength. Wow. So you're being reminded, whatever you go through on this journey, and the whole 40 minutes of me talking here is about strength. It says you are stronger and tougher than anything you are currently facing. This journey and this life creates our warrior spirit. Remember who you are and why you have come. And when you do that, you don't get jealous. You don't compare yourself to anyone, because you remember who you are. And if you want to know who you are, just close your eyes and connect with your true self. If you want to know why you're here, maybe thinking about your purpose, what to do, call on Archangel Zachiel, and he will help you to remember. He'll tap you in with your truth. And Archangel Michael will give you the strength you need to carry on, because you were never alone and you were loved and safe. I hope this helps. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.